Welcome back to the Think a Better Thought, Train Your Mind for Success deep dive series with the author, yours truly, Shane Boring. And folks, we are here. We're at the last chapter. And this is where we're going to realize the benefits of thinking a better thought. That's why we're doing this, right? I mean, before I wrote this book, I bet I listened to Think and Grow Rich close to 1,000 times. I'm not joking. I played that book on autopilot, and then I moved on to The Science of Getting Rich, The Secret of the Ages, The Science of Mind, Watch The Secret, What the Bleep Do You Know, all these things over and over again, just trying to figure it out because I wanted a different life. I didn't want to be the same person doing the same things, experiencing the same lack of that I had done. And I thought it was about money and a system. Through the pursuit of trying to do something better, I discovered this. So there's some lessons there right off the bat. One, can't give up. You got to fight. And can't dictate how the answer is going to come. You have to be open. Remember, I was talking about how a bee pollinates a flower. It doesn't pollinate a tightly closed bud. It pollinates a blossomed flower. Stay blossomed. Okay. We're going to spend some time on this, and we're going to put a lot together here. I hope you all are ready to have fun. Here's our quote. Your calm mind is the ultimate weapon against your challenges. So relax. Bryant McGill, the chair, or not the chair, the couch exercise, laying down, relaxing, letting things go. When you let go, relax, it's amazing how easy things come. But when you're all tight, restricted, pissed, worried, doesn't work so good, does it? All right, I'm going to tell you a little story. Isn't that a cool picture over my shoulder? I'm going to tell you what that picture is here in just a second. I know y'all are used to seeing the book, but y'all have seen it enough. And guess what? It's down in that little corner there, in the left-hand corner. Let me do a little reading to you. I'm going to tell you a story. We're going to go back many years, over 40 years, to my second grade class. I remember planting a bean seed inside a styrofoam cup in my second grade science class. My classmates and I, we all had one that we cared for daily. We would add a little water and then place our cup close to the window for the soil to be warmed by sunlight. Now, the only time we get off script here, the only time we poked our finger in the cup was to plant the seed. Once it was planted, we didn't touch it again, right? Nobody wanted to mess it up. Our teacher said if we did poke our finger around in there, it would probably die. So we're like, no, not going to do it. We don't want our plant to die. We followed our teacher's instructions, and we were all able to realize the benefits. And if there's anyone who I went to high school with watching this video, remember Mrs. McGoy's class, we planted those beans, and some of y'all had bean plants. I thought they were going to go to the ceiling. I had some little scrub. Okay, yeah, there were a few classmates who had plants start coming through the soil before anyone else, and that was torture. Why was my plant not growing? Was there something wrong with my seed? Did I not water it enough? Mrs. McGoy said everything would be fine, and as much as I wanted that plant to show up, I had to wait. The more I tightened up, the worse it got. But if I just let go and didn't really care and allowed it to happen, life was pretty easy. Because really, I wasn't doing anything. I did the work already. planted it, watered it, my faith, right? And guess what? My plant did start to grow. It didn't get as big as the others, but I had a plant. I had what we set out to do. When I set out to grow the plant, I didn't have any idea of anything other than a green plant. I didn't have a 1-foot plant, a 2-foot plant, 6-inch plant. Wasn't very specific, but I also was not instructed to be specific. All right. The simple experiment from my 2nd grade class illustrates how to acquire things in your life. Okay. If your world is without, okay, meaning if you're looking at what you don't have, it is purely a reflection of your world within. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is your thought creates conditions that your mind images. All right, now let's talk about this photo here. I'm actually going to share my screen so you can see it better. Yeah, there we go. Now, what you're looking at here, this is my backyard view. And I think it's pretty amazing. One, you're looking at that tower on top of that hill is probably 10 miles away, maybe less. But I know like where that water is at the very back there. I bet that's a good 7-8 miles. I mean, I know I was 2.5 miles down here for some Bible study the other day. Anyway, it's a long view, okay? And it's in Austin. And this view was on the market for 9 months during one of the hottest housing real estate periods in the history of Austin, where prices absolutely took off. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share and come back to you. You can see it over me, but let me tell you what I did. Is I knew that I wanted a home with a view. And I also knew I wanted to be close to water, wanted to see trees. And for a while, I thought that that meant that I actually wanted to live on the water. And so I researched that. I investigated that. I played through that scenario in my mind, looked at property, looked at what it would go into managing that property, how I would enjoy doing that. And I decided that although I liked the water, I didn't want to be on the water because I didn't want the extra maintenance and things that would come with being on the water. And my oldest son, Bryce, he had graduated a few years earlier. We'd had a big party where we rented a house on Lake Austin. And if you're not familiar with that, it's basically the Colorado River. And they keep it at a constant level. It comes out of Lake Travis. And rented a boat, rented a house right there on it. And what we had was, about 50 people there all throughout the weekend. Food, fun, games, just laughing. It was just fun. It was just everyone enjoying being with each other in this beautiful place. And I realized that's what I really wanted. I wanted a beautiful view, close to the water, but a place that people would want to come and love spending time with each other. And I remembered seeing kind of the water winding a little bit there. And so I just kind of got this picture inside my mind one day while I was meditating. And it was this kind of what I thought was a river, just kind of going down my left side. And so I would just see that, and then I would see all of our family, all of our friends, people having fun, laughing, and I would feel the laughter, I would feel the happiness, and I would just be there. I would be there, and I knew that's where we were. So I had that vision in my mind for, I mean, a good, I don't want to say 9 months. And Dee Dee had seen this property. It was on the market in, this was 2019, like October, and then it came off the market. And then COVID happened right in 2020, and it comes back on the market. I think, I'm in May, April, May, March. I don't remember. She was looking at it. She couldn't believe that it wasn't selling. And we wanted to be in Austin because my oldest son, Bryce, he went to UT. Max, our youngest, was planning on going to school there too. And we had a little branch of our advertising agency. All right. So I'm setting all this up. This house is on the market for 9 months in Austin, hottest time in the history of the housing market. That's a damn good view. All right. I love it. I love this view. I mean, I'm so grateful to have it. And I believe that I received it through what I'm about to teach you. I focused on that view every single day with happiness and belief. Heard the home. We made an offer during COVID. We sold our home at asking price in one day. I mean, it just all lined up and was easy. And here we are. And I love it. I love to tear this house down and now build a different one. I can remodel the house, can't remodel the view. And that's what I wanted, was the view. So let's talk about how you do it. Okay. The hardest work in the world is keeping before your mind's eye the image of all you want to be. So while you're thinking these things, if you've got pre-programmed doubt, fear, all that stuff, you're going to have to battle through that. You're going to have to think abundance, feel abundance, believe abundance, see abundance. And if you find yourself having trouble with that, keep fighting to do that. And you will find that as you fight through it, as you think, feel, and believe and see, abundance will manifest itself in your daily life. Okay, let's go back to the plant example, all these nature examples. You know that if you plant a seed in the right environment and water, the seed will sprout and grow into whatever kind of plant it is. What part of the process do you have in this other than planting and watering? Zero, right? Everything other than that happens between the seed and the soil. You have to let the seed and the soil work together without your interference. All you can do is water and feed. Nature has given us some of the very best examples of how to be successful, and planting a seed in soil is one of my very favorites. So when it comes to the subject of success, whatever success is for you, it could be a home, could be a career, could be a family. Doesn't matter. It's your success. I just want to encourage you to think about the experience and not the physical money stuff, the world stuff. Think about the spiritual experience you're going to have. The creative force behind the soil, nutrients, water, and seed that produces the plant It's the same creative force that has always been and always will be available to you. And that creative force, the creative force, not that, is God. Okay? You were born with the power of thought. Every thought you have is a thing that creates the world around you, because every thought is transmitted to the superconscious mind, God, by your subconscious mind, your memory, everything that you're focusing on. The thoughts you create penetrate your subconscious mind, which communicates with the superconscious mind. The superconscious mind has many names: infinite intelligence, universal mind, the source, divine mind, infinite wisdom, mother nature, God. Like, everyone can have their gods and give them all the names, but there's only one God. There's only one that created. And one of the world's most famous tricks is division, duality, all this crap that makes us think that that's not good enough and this is better. No, one God. Quit being competitive with religion. Actually, you should take religion and put it in your trash can and learn about spirituality, because religion, it's a different video. We're not going to go there today, but spiritual connection with God. No, you don't need to waste your time watching some puppet on a stage create a performance. Like, I'm doing a performance here on this. I'm telling you, you need to take this and go dig and work on you and look at the inner, because the outer is a direct result of what's going on in here and here. By the way, did you know that 67% of your heart cells are identical to your brain cells? No. Your subconscious mind is subjective, okay? It does not judge your thinking. Your subconscious mind is where all your personal experiences, emotions, beliefs, thoughts, and ideas are stored and accessed. Your subconscious mind allows you to function on autopilot for many things in your life. You can go for months or even years without riding a bike and still be able to, right? This is because your subconscious mind has stored the knowledge of how to ride a bike in your mind. It's just a matter of accessing it. You're just a big supercomputer. If you do not keep your subconscious mind's eye on what you desire, you risk functioning on autopilot with doubt. If your world is without, it is truly a reflection of the world within you, because you are storing images of lack and failure in your subconscious mind that are being transmitted to God. You're saying, I'm good, just living the same shitty life day in and day out. And I like it so much, I'm not going to change a fucking thing that I'm doing. Actually, I'm going to pull out my phone and just start scrolling and be a tuned out fool for the rest of the day. Do you like hearing that? Conscious thinking is the hardest work you will ever do. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to fight for that? And you know what? After I got that view, I'll be real honest with you, I got a little mentally lazy. I took a breather. It's like working out, getting in shape, losing all that weight, and then rewarding yourself with ice cream and pizza and creme brulee and margaritas and all that. What happens? You get out of shape. Yeah. I'm not perfect. I've said from the very beginning, I'm not. I said from the very beginning, you need to take this stuff, try it, but adapt it to your personality. Don't copy me word for word. You'll fail. But if that's what you must do to get started, do it. And you'll eventually find that you want to do it a different way. Just don't stop. The superconscious mind does not judge the thoughts transmitted to it by your subconscious mind. If your focus is on what you don't have, you will continue to have experiences in your life that demonstrate what you don't have. These are the thoughts you are planning and storing in your subconscious mind. These thoughts are all the superconscious mind has to work with for you. The superconscious mind will not and cannot guess what you want. You have to be specific. And if I say, I want more money, well, great, man, here's a penny. Find a penny, pick it up all day long, you'll have good luck. You asked for more money, I gave you more money, here's a penny. Ego-driven thinking is the poison of this world. Allowing our egos control of our consciousness feeds our subconscious mind negative instructions, which are then transmitted to the superconscious mind. This is why we started with persistence. Okay? If you lack persistence, you will not be active in monitoring the thoughts you are feeding your subconscious mind. Persistence is the tool used to make all the tools for thinking a better thought work together. And what are they? Let's review what we've learned. Knowing your ego and how it operates. Monitoring your feelings. Relaxing and recharging. Recognizing success in your life. Living with gratitude, free of all resentment. Practicing forgiveness. Removing negativity and worry. Not needing to be perfect or worry about what others think. Ending self-hate and letting pain go. And removing fear by changing our conception of God, infinite intelligence, the superconscious mind, to one full of love, collaboration, and trust. You can become a master of all these tools, but only if you do not quit. And you're going to want to. You know why? Because your mind tells you to. You're going to want to and not even know it. So you need to figure out what you need to do to make sure your butt gets to the mental gym every day. 5, 10, 20 times a day. It's quite possible that your subconscious mind today is full of doubts. The way to correct this is by changing your thoughts of fear and failure to thoughts of gratitude and success. You can reprogram your subconscious mind by only thinking thoughts of gratitude, success, happiness, health, and wealth. Okay? You can remove all fear and failure from your subconscious. You really can. But it comes at a price. What is that price? I've already given it to you. The price is everlasting persistence in using the tools you've been given to only think thoughts of abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, life, love, and gratitude. Seeing in your mind the world you desire as a reality, not the world without. Thinking of a better experience as your reality when you are surrounded by what you do not like or want, that's the hardest work you will ever do. It may feel overwhelming, especially when you compare yourself to what the world defines as successful. We're judging if we compare. Don't waste your thoughts competing with others for what they have. Instead, observe the unlimited supply all around you. There are more trees, flowers, rocks, animals, and resources than can be counted. Let's go, let me share this again. Tell you what, because, you tell me if you can count how many trees are in this picture. Huh? Can you count the gallons of water? I believe most people fall short of realizing their ideas because they dig up their seeds. Okay? They take their styrofoam cup that they planted that bead seed in, and they're like, is there a plant in here? I've got no faith in the process. They dig around, and while they're digging, you know what they're doing? They're replacing that bean seed with seeds of failure. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. Yeah. That's what you believe. That's what you receive. Believe, receive, they rhyme. Funny, right? All right. So now that we've defined the problem, what is the best way to start? Either start, if you're starting, you're probably at a bigger advantage than most people. Because if you're having to get back on track, we're having to reprogram some stuff too. All right. How about we just start with a small plant? That would be a small desire, right? Small, big, or massive, all success can be created by right thinking. The more you affirm the process works, the greater your confidence and proficiency grows. Start with something easily attainable, okay? It's best to think of something you have experience of receiving previously, so there's absolutely no doubt. We're learning to prove the process. We're building faith in the process. Okay, so maybe be easy on yourself. Think of something you've received before. I'm going to give you a tip here in a minute. Here are the instructions, and these are in the workbook, I think. Maybe not. I might have kept these out to get people to buy it, but I'm going to read them. 1, be perfectly clear about what you desire. 2, ask yourself what the next right step is to receive it. What do I do next? You don't have to have an answer right away, just ask. 3, know with undeniable faith that you do receive it. 4, express sincere gratitude in advance of receiving it, like you already have what you desire in your possession. 5, believe, see, and feel the feelings of experiencing the reception of your desire. See yourself actually experiencing what you desire in the present moment, and do that in third person, right? 6, take action. When the opportunity to move toward your desire presents itself, act. Don't wait, act. 7, recognize when you do receive it. 8, express sincere gratitude for receiving it. Show them to you again. Okay. Like I said, it's all in the workbook, so no need to actually, before I get too far on that, let me highlight it. It's not in the workbook. You're gonna have to buy the book. That's the part I left out. You gotta leave one part out, right? All right, I did say I would give you something to test this out on, all right? I think everyone's familiar with coffee and Starbucks. Whatever your opinion is of Starbucks, it really doesn't matter at this point, okay? I will tell you that my opinion of Starbucks, I'd rather not drink their coffee. But I'm going to use them in this example because it's in the book. All right. Create the idea, create the desire of receiving a cup of coffee from Starbucks. Doesn't matter if you drink coffee or not. The point is to come into possession of a Starbucks coffee by creating this specific desire. Okay, now remember, we're practicing, and the idea is to start with a small object. Okay, so I think, a cup of coffee, that's under $5. That's pretty small. Okay, decide. If you want to change it, I don't care. Okay, this is my exercise, so we're doing Starbucks. Decide and be perfectly clear in your mind that you desire a cup of coffee from Starbucks. Close your eyes. All right, close those eyes and see in third person a white cup with the green Starbucks logo being handed to you with a smile, right? Feel yourself smiling. Yeah, free coffee, right? Feel yourself smiling and appreciating the friendly gesture of someone giving you this cup of Starbucks coffee without you even asking for it. I just came up, hey man, got you a cup of coffee because I love you, or whatever. Yeah. Visualize, just feel the warmth of that coffee, the warmth of the cup as you accept it and hold it in your hands. See the cup, see yourself raising it up, right? Smelling it, see yourself from distance. Maybe even take the lid off, because the lid has some toxic chemicals in it. Take the lid off, throw it away. Wow, smelling it, right? Enjoying it. And then you can taste, you can even feel, smell, taste that running down the back of your throat into your stomach. From your lips to your mouth to your throat to your stomach. Tastes good, right? Now we spend a little time on that, but you can create this entire visualization experience in less than a minute. You can look from a second-story balcony at yourself leaning against a crosswalk pole and seeing someone tap you on the shoulder and handing you this coffee. You can visualize. When you do it, remember, feel. Okay? Wouldn't it be nice for you to state what you wanted and for it all to come together perfectly as you envisioned it with the least amount of effort? If you will start practicing this drill daily with persistence, you will actually start to believe that is possible. And you may make it possible. Choice is, will you be satisfied when you do something like this and get your view that you've always wanted? Yeah. You be satisfied by that? Stop? Or you continue on? When, like I said, when you're green, you grow. If you're ripe, you rot. All right. Remember, this is important. Start with things that you have the belief that they're attainable, okay? And grow from there. Start small and grow. It'll go quick. But if you shoot way too far out where you don't have any experience, could run into problems. I call it relatable experience. Okay. If you're using something where you don't have relatable experience, you're giving your ego ammunition to create doubt. It's like, well, you've never done that before. What do you mean? Your salary is $50,000 a year, 5 million. That's impossible. That's what your ego is going to do. So if you're 50,000, maybe we shoot for doubling it first, right? Okay. I'm going to get into that a little bit more. Be specific and exact about what you desire. If I gave you a message in an envelope where all the sentences had been cut up into individual letters and scrambled, you would have quite a bit of trouble decoding that message, I bet. Your subconscious mind is not capable of decoding your messages. You have to know exactly what you desire. Not more money, not a better job. Define it. Not a better partner, not just a wife, not just a husband. Define, because that's what you're going to see. Your subconscious is going to point your eyes that way as you define it. If you're just stumble bumming around being general, you're not going to find anything. You're going to stumble bum. And this is why I suggest you need to start with something small, like a friend buying you coffee. Okay? This is easy to see happening. Small, specific, and you probably already have a pretty good idea of what a cup of Starbucks coffee looks, feels, smells, and tastes like. Your subconscious mind acts on beliefs you have. If you doubt that you can receive a cup of Starbucks coffee daily, you're not going to get it. I promise you. Your subconscious mind accepts the belief that you do not think a cup of Starbucks coffee is possible, and guess what? It never happens. But once it accepts that it is, that it's a reality, it always happens, you're going to get coffee. You will. You can take this experience with a coffee cup and you can turn that into an unexpected free lunch. You can take that and all of a sudden you can find an unexpected $100 bill or $100 note. We'll call them notes, not bills. What if the financial system changes and we're not using the fiat money, huh? Who knows? Give you another example here. If the largest check you've ever received in your life is $5,000, it's going to be a lot harder for you to really visualize what it's like to receive a $5 million check. You have no relatable experience at all of that. You have to build up. Okay. Safer move would be to try and get a $10,000 check, right? A lot closer to what you're used to getting, or even 5,500. Not a bad idea. All right, let's say you try this and you fail. Good possibility that's going to happen, okay? Especially if you don't do this every day, I can promise you're going to fail. So if that happens and you realize it, if you haven't fallen asleep, but you realize that there was a failure, then ask yourself at what point of the process you allowed your ego to take control away, creating doubt. Try and go back. So what happened? Observe the answer and don't judge yourself. Just observe the answer. Be grateful that you discovered where you got off track and realize this discovery is a success. All of a sudden, the failure is gone forever. Now you're only successful, just like you always have done. Persist and continue to work again and again until you experience success. If you fail, It's only because you have not removed the possibility of failure from your thoughts. Be the blossom flower. Open up. Allow it to happen. All right. Tell you a little story. Because you can make things happen pretty quick. All right. Several years ago, and this story's in the book, I was on a trip with my advertising company. We were producing some video for a client, and we had been to Arizona, Colorado, and we're finishing up in El Paso. Okay, so, and we were gonna, at that time I was living in Midland, Texas, and the plan was to just drive back from El Paso. All right. So we're on the flight from Phoenix to El Paso, and the thought kind of occurs to me, how about we upgrade our car? Let's see what happens. And so I just was very, kind of focused on a nice car upgrade. I visualized getting off the plane easily, picking up our luggage with no delay, and being offered a rental upgrade. That's it. Okay. So here's what happened. We landed, and by the time we landed and grabbed our bags, which was lightning fast, I'd completely forgotten that I had done this visualization. Gone, right? And that's another example of why it's important to set up thought provokers that remind you to do this stuff. Because I'd forgotten I wanted to upgrade my day, right? There was a problem with our reservation. I'm like, what the hell? We're not going to have a car. We're not going to be able to get our way back. Yeah, and I think we were supposed to drive like a Nissan Rogue, something like that. Well, because our reservation got messed up, the guy upgraded us to a BMW. Dropped the rate. I'm like, thank you. Still forgot. When I'm taking my shoes off, just got into the hotel room, getting ready for dinner, or changing shoes, something like that. At that point, I remembered, oh my God. And I just started laughing. I completely forgot that I had wanted to upgrade, and I made it happen. It's that easy when you believe, and when you start with things that are small and can give yourself wins, it's so much easier to make little things like that happen. It's like, finding a parking spot up close where you don't have to walk. Well, I just know one's always going to be there. I learned that from this guy in the movie The Secret, and he talked about it. I'm like, well, if he can do it, I'll do it. I expect a spot to be there. If it's not, I just come back around to it is. And I only come around once, it's there. Okay. Let's really have some fun now, okay? This is where we're finishing up. We're getting close to the end here. I know y'all are wanting to get to work. You remember when I talked about if I took one drop of water from the ocean, what the difference in properties would be between that one drop and the ocean? Zero, right? Just volume. Okay. So in Genesis 1:27, God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. There's a question for you. Is it possible that being created in the image and likeness of God is similar to taking a drop of water from the ocean The only difference in creative power being in volume. Romans 8:17. And if we are children, then we are heirs, heirs of God and co-heirs with Christ. We're told we're made in the image and likeness of God. We're told that we are heirs and co-heirs with Christ. And what do we do? What do we do with that honor and distinction, huh? Squander it? Yeah, I'd say I've done that. Hide the talents we're given? I've definitely done that. Create a belief that we're not worthy? Fight that every day. Yeah, that's what we do. Me, you, all of us. We're a direct expression of God, the Father, the universal creator of everything, everything. Every atom in your body that has more atoms than the whole freaking Milky Way, right? It has stars. Allowing it to happen is the most perfect display of your faith possible because it is creative intelligence, God, the Father in all of us, who does the work. I believe. Knowing what to do in your life can be simplified to this general description. I love this, and I wrote it. Okay? We were created by the great creator. Our job here is to continue to create, to continue to advance God's creation. I believe it's like my job to say, look what I made. It's like, wow, that's beautiful. I love what you did with what I started. You know? Any good thought or idea we can create to advance God's creation has the potential full power of God behind it. The only force that can stop it is the limitation we set in our mind, our lack of faith. Have faith, allow it to happen. Allow God to be the power behind all your thinking. We're going to finish the chapter with this. Consider this scenario. If a son asked his father for a new bicycle and the father had more than enough resources to give his son the bicycle, he would not give his son a piece of glass, would he? No. He would buy him the best bicycle he could and add a helmet, knee and elbow pads, and accessories to go with it. The father would give his son the very best possible. The Father in heaven desires for you to have the very best in your life. I believe that. The only limitation of what your Father can give to you is created by you. Think a better thought. Believe, receive, allow it to happen. All right. We're going to go ahead and we got chapter summary and we do have training exercise, believe it or not. So when you dine at a restaurant, here's the typical process to receive your food. You're seated by the hostess and given a menu. The waiter arrives at your table and takes your drink order. Your waiter may also inform you of that evening's specials. You survey the menu, and inside your head, you imagine the experience of dining on one or many different options. You give your order to the waiter. Then what do? You may visit, enjoy drinks, or maybe watch something playing on TV. Are you doing anything to prepare your meal? No. The answer is no. You are allowing the meal to be prepared for you. The only involvement you have in preparing the meal deciding what you want and knowing that you're going to receive it as you ordered. Have you ever thought about having a menu where you could choose what experiences you would like to enjoy? Here's your training exercise. It helps to have a relatable experience for this exercise so that you already believe it is possible. As you think of the experience for this exercise, resist the temptation to go big. There'll be plenty of time to do that later. Think of something you enjoy that you may not have had in a while. Make sure you think of something you have previously received. And not in a while, okay? Those two key things. Could be a meal, could be a friend's company, flowers at work, anything. But a little distance since you've had it, okay? Now, decide on how you would like to receive it again. Know that you will receive it. Do not question for one moment the fact that you will receive it. Every day, visualize in third person and believe that this thing you want is coming into your life. This is important, okay? If at any time you have doubt, you will be slamming on the brakes and throwing all your momentum in reverse. The probability of you having doubt about receiving it is high when you first begin to practice this exercise. Okay, I'm letting you know right now, you're going to have trouble. Know this, you are not the first person to have a doubt about receiving something you're visualizing. Even something small like someone buying coffee, okay? When this happens, don't judge yourself. Instead, realize the success you've made in recognizing a negative thought and being able to correct it. And refocus your thoughts on the end result. The end result is the actual experience of you receiving the thing you're visualizing. Allow it to come into your life. Recognize when this happens, and when it does, express sincere gratitude for receiving it. There's a little bonus exercise for you, okay? Meditate on your relationship with your higher power. Ask yourself if you see yourself as a direct expression of God. We're going to go deeper here in a second. I just want to summarize that a little bit. Think of something that's been a while since you've had, maybe at least a year. Okay? And then visualize yourself having it again. From third person. Feel the feelings of happiness receiving it. Whatever it is. Be there, enjoy it, and stay there. Find a way to remind yourself to do this mental workout. We call it a mental workout. Many, many, many times a day. It takes just a few seconds. All right, let's go deeper. If the answer to, can I see myself as a direct expression of God is no, I'd say you're really being honest with yourself. We're programmed with the word no early in childhood. It is with the best intention by our parents. They start telling us no to keep us safe, right? This word continues to grow in use, and many times we create the habit of telling ourselves no internally. If you have created this habit, you need to be patient with yourself. You may slip and tell yourself no many times before you finally break through. The difference in slipping now and before is that you will be aware of when you do it now. Be persistent in starting right back where you left off. This exercise requires discipline, patience, and persistence. It also requires you to be very forgiving of yourself. Eliminate all doubt. Believe. Doubting is negative. Be disciplined enough to withstand all doubt. Again, learn to say yes to yourself. One more quote. That puts a little tear in my eye, actually, because this has been quite an experience going through my book with you and sharing some of my emotions as I went through it. It's life or death. Death being just not having the life that you could have had. You know, I give a lot of credit in my life to the experience of writing this book. It's not the book. It was the experience, the learning that occurred, because that gave me so many other experiences, you know, and now when this is complete, it's on to the next thing. And I'm doing that now with my family. We got a great family business going. And the next book is going to be about that business. Because it's more than I ever could have thought was cool. So anyway, and more will come from there. Life should always just be getting better. And when you look for it to get better, it does. So that's the whole point, is we're changing our perspective, changing our view, changing our focal point. And if you're still with me, it's so important in the beginning to place thought provokers. Like, this is a thing of electrical tape that has no business being on my desk. Okay? This is a tube of Carmex. I hate the taste of it. I don't like putting it on. It makes my teeth gummy. What else do we got? Those are the two I have for today. Oh, yeah. The pen. You're going to need a lot of help in the beginning, because if you're 50, you've had 50 years of the world's programming that you're up against. If you're 20, you got 20. You're just going to have to make sure you're doing it often and every day. And the only way I know that worked for me was to put these visual reminders out everywhere. Because you're gonna mess up. You know, you're gonna be thinking about that coffee, and you're gonna be like, and then you're gonna realize, I just messed up. Hopefully, if you see something like this out, it's gonna get you back on it, because you have to complete it to move up to the next level. You know, it's like a video game, right? You don't get to move to the next level till you complete the first level. So you got to keep leveling up. And the only way to do that is to stay on it. But once you start leveling up, it'll start popping quicker. Promise. You gotta go. Let me know how it goes. Or not. Your life. Y'all had a good time though, I hope. Pass it on. Teach people what you've learned here. Think a better thought.